So basically what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be breaking down my newest single, We're Still Here. Just basically going through the instruments and just showing you how I put everything together. So yeah. Okay, so for the drums, I wanted to do something a little bit more experimental because of the way the song sounds. So basically we have A, B, and C, and then D, and then also E and F. So E and F are pretty much the same as A and B, but they do this little cycle with the hi-hats over and over again instead of this one. And then D is pretty boring. It's just so much fun. And then E for the violin breakdown part, which we'll discuss. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the drums. Alright, so for the melody, what I would usually do when going into these songs is I would go with piano first. But for the case of this song, which is definitely a handful of my songs, I usually go on my guitar and I'll find some chords that are pretty, stuff that fits together, try to fit it together, and I will put it on here, note for note. So yeah. Alright, so for the beginning, it plays the first 5 notes, and the second, and then it plays the original melody, and then it'll switch. It'll go down some frets. It'll be the same notes, it's just going down some frets. And then it switches. Yeah, right here is where it switches, just a little bit. But it goes right back into, hold on. Goes right back into that. And it's pretty much the same for the rest, except it starts to repeat right here, specifically. But yeah, it's pretty much the same except for the outro. Those are all those small notes I was talking about. Alright, so for this one, it's playing the first 4 notes, but they're basically chords. So this is what lifts the entire song up and like makes it very like trippy and weird. Has a phase effect on it and some reverb to make it sound a little bit more spacey. But yeah, that's pretty much that for that. Well, and then it goes to this, but yeah. Alright, so with the bass, it's basically switching from an open E string and an open A string. So like this. And it pretty much does that for the rest, but the only switch really is just this one. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, so for this track, this pad is basically like the bassy undertones of these chords above. So like this is what kind of pieces it together. Here, I'll play it all at once. If I turn those off. Alright, and then that switches to this. Which this section right here is like pretty much kind of like the pre-chorus almost. And then this section right here is like the chorus if these terms are correct. so now we're down to the strings. Violin is like my favorite thing to do for these songs if I can and if they fit well, because violin is very emotional, and that's something I really like about music, like that I love about music. Very melodic, emotional music is definitely what I try to gravitate towards, like, mostly. So I try to, I try to implement that in my music. I try to make it very emotional, and I try to make it different. So yeah. All right, so for this track, is basically like some extra added, I wouldn't say bass, some extra added just like oomph to it, you know what I mean? Just something very small that you can kind of like faintly hear, but you can still kind of make out, I guess. Just in certain parts of the song, like this one, and then if we scroll over, like nearing the ending is what I meant to say. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. All right, so what I wanted to do for this one is I kind of wanted to have like a 8-bit feel to it, like nearing the end. Just something that kind of like distracts you from like the rest of the song. So yeah, that's what it sounds like. Still the same notes as the guitar, just put into this. And there's actually a better example down here too, where I removed some notes to make it sound interesting. But yeah, that's basically that part of it. All right, moving on down to our last one. So this is basically like to add on to the 8-bit feeling of it, just to make it sound different and kind of distract you as well. Which I really like too. So this is them added together. But yeah, is basically it for that portion of it too. But yeah, that is basically how I put these songs together. I do apologize in advance for it being just kind of like raw and weird, but this is the best I can do for now. Also, my speech too. I've definitely struggled with that for a while. I used to have a speech impediment. I used to have a speech impediment when I was a kid, and sometimes it shows, so I get a little nervous with these type of things. I'm not really used to being on camera, but I do appreciate it. And I know I don't have to apologize about these type of things, but I just feel it's awkward if I don't. But I definitely do appreciate the support, and I definitely plan on making more videos like this in the future. They'll probably be spaced out over time, but I'll definitely make more of these for sure, because I feel that it is interesting in a way, I guess. So yeah. Alrighty.